Hey guys, welcome back. Just wanted to make a quick video to share a bit of knowledge, but also gain a bit of knowledge from you guys, the hive mind that watches my videos. I recently got a boat, bought it with 3 partners because there's no way I could afford that on my own. And I was taking it out, towing it. That's a whole fun experience, towing large boats. And let's just say I had a bit of an incident, but disaster was avoided, okay? And so I know a lot of you guys that watch my channel, you're also probably similar like me. You like to get out, do stuff, build stuff, tow stuff. And I want to know, what do you guys keep in your truck in case of roadside emergencies? Because I'll tell you what happened. Okay, I was towing this boat up island to go on a little lake adventure. And I pulled into a gas station. So this is like a 23-foot boat, full-size truck here, not long blocks, but it was big, okay? And so I was pulling into the gas station. Funny enough, my buddy who was with me was like, hey, do you ever get, worried about towing such a big trailer? I'm like, does it stress you out? I was like, oh no, it's a piece of cake. And like literally as those words came out of my mouth, I was turning into the gas bar or whatever, and didn't turn wide enough, and I ran the trailer tire up onto the big curbs, that are around the gas pumps, and bent the rim, and air came out of the tire, right? It unseated the edge of the tire because the rim bent on the edge of the curb, right? All the weight of the boat was like on that one tire. And so yeah, literally as I said, like, no, towing this thing's easy. Boom, I got a flat tire now. I'm already half hour out of town. I got no roadside assistance, and I was like, so like everybody at the gas station's like, your tire's flat. I'm like, thanks, buddy. I heard the air hissing out like my soul. So yeah, so we pull it over, get out, assess the damage. The rim is like pretty bent, like quite obvious. And I was like, what do I do? So thankfully, in my truck box here, I had some tools. And one of the tools was my big axe. I had a big splitting axe in there. And so I pulled the axe out and just went MacGyver on this thing, hammered the rim back into shape with the butt end of the pole of the axe. And so sure enough, I was able to hammer that thing, 'cause, I got finesse with the hammer. I was able to hammer the rim back into shape, fill it up with the air pump at the gas station there, and it held air just fine, and it's still holding air. It's not leaking or anything. So I was like, thank God I had, something I could use as a hammer, or else, maybe I could have borrowed something from a gas station. But, I was lucky. And I've been in roadside situations before where I haven't been so lucky, but thankfully, I've known people with roadside assistance, or my dad's been nearby and he's been able to just come help me out in town. But there are situations where you're going to be out in the bush, away from civilization, away from tools and all that sort of stuff. So what do you guys bring with you when you do, say, camping trips or any kind of long road trips? I'd love to get feedback from you guys in the comment section, to be like, I always carry, the basic kit in my vehicle, my truck or my van or whatever. And then when I go on trips, I bring X, Y, Z. So I'd love to get information from you guys, and I'm going to show you what I carry in my truck, just so that you guys can get some tips from it as well, so that you don't run into roadside situations where you're basically stranded and have to wait hours and hours and hours for help to show up, right? So let's take a look at what I keep in my truck. All right, so I got a sweet deal in my truck box here. I put that undercoat stuff on it, or the box coating stuff on it. It's rubbing off a little bit, but I can always touch it up. So this is what I carry. This is kind of my basic stuff that I just leave in my truck all the time, and gives me a little bit of peace of mind when I'm driving out, especially like on logging roads. Like if I was to get into trouble, I probably have enough stuff here that could fix any minor issues. Obviously if I roll my truck into a ditch, I'm probably going to be injured and not fixing that. So you can never have too many nylon straps. That's one thing I've learned. So I've got a couple smaller light duty, I think these are 10-foot or 15-foot 1-inch nylon straps, so you can lift heavy loads. You can pull vehicles, you know, wrap them around trees to put a winch on. I do not have a winch on my truck. I've thought about getting one, but I've never actually needed one. So I have pulled my truck out of, you know, just minor little stuck situations with just come-alongs and straps. So I've got a couple of nylon straps. I got some big ratchet straps here. These are great for just locking down heavy loads. Then I've got some even bigger ratchet straps here, which you could actually do. They're long enough that you can do some pulling with them. You know, if you did need to move something or move a log off the road or something like that, you could use that. Probably easier to just wrap a recovery strap, which is just one of these loose ones. I've got some big Mama Jammas in here that are like 3-inch wide, can basically lift like 5 trucks, never break kind of things. Great thing to keep on board is shackle. So I got this shackle on here, so if you do need to wrap different pieces together, chain, that sort of stuff. I don't have any chain on my truck. I've thought about, I do have a chain in a bucket upstairs. I might throw that in the truck because, you know, chain's even stronger than these nylon straps and can really, you know, take a beating. So I recommend having at least a couple nylon straps and some ratchet straps on board. That's a basic minimum kit. Shackles are great as well. The other things I keep are obviously just simple stuff for getting snow and ice off your truck. This is the axe that I used. Just my Fiskars here, splitting maul. Just a basic kind of, I call these get her done tools. You know, inside my shop I've got all my lovely, beautiful, put a smile on my face when I see them, you know, fancy tools. And then this is where I got all my get her done tools, where I don't really care what happens to the tool. They're made for use and abuse. You know, and all these tools, I pick them up at Princess Auto here in Canada. They've always got pretty much everything you need to do any heavy lifting and shop work, dirty work, that sort of stuff. So I've got these. I picked up this big farm jack. These things are amazing, man. I've used these. I use these in construction. Use them for lifting your vehicles out of ditches and, you know, moving stuff. Such a versatile tool. If you do not have a, you know, a farm jack or jack all, there's lots of different people call them different things. I highly recommend having at least one of these on your property, if not in your truck at all times. So I got a big one here. I think that's almost a 5-footer, and then I got another 3-footer in the back. Keep a small shovel always. If you get your tire stuck, you can dig yourself out a little bit. You always want to be able to move some dirt around if you are out in the bush and running into issues. Plus, shovels are just really handy when you're camping and that sort of stuff. So I keep a shovel. Obviously, I've got a tire iron here so I can get my tire off nice and easy. I carry a couple come-alongs. One time I was at a job site and a guy was delivering a load of wood on a flat deck, and he was backing up around the corner and was pretty hungover. Could smell the booze on his breath. He ran the back end of his tire axle off the edge of the road where it was kind of a little bit of a embankment. I used these come-alongs with these straps to actually, and these right here, bottle jacks, which are awesome tools. Super powerful. I can lift like 20,000 pounds plus with this thing, 40,000 pounds. And they're great because you can fit them into tight little spots. And you got about an 8-inch travel on here, so you can lift your truck out of ditches, use the come-alongs to pull them back onto the road. So I always keep a bottle jack. I got 2 of those now. They're very affordable. Got those at Princess Auto as well, which is kind of like Canada's Harbor Freight for all my American brethren. Other little things I keep, I got some nylon rope here. Zip ties. You can never have too many zip ties. Different sizes. I got big ones, small ones. And that's pretty much what I keep here in the box. So let me know what you guys keep in your truck, because I might need to add to my collection here. A few other things I keep inside my compartments here is obviously just more ratchet straps for tying down loads. I've got one of these little 12-volt compressors. So if you do pop a tire and you need to put a plug in and then refill your tire, you've got a compressor on board. So that's a handy little tool to keep with you. And they're just so small and compact, right? It's like the size of a large water bottle pretty much. And then I keep a couple extra trailers, hitches in here. So I've got all my different size hitches. So if I'm towing different trailers, smaller boats or flat decks, that sort of stuff. Keep a couple beaners in here. Those always come in handy. Recovery hook. And I got a bunch of old locks and stuff that I keep in here from my old cargo trailer that I had, and then a few different locking hitch pins as well in case you lose one or somebody steals your hitch. That's why I always keep a locking hitch on there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for tools and utility equipment in my truck. So let me know if I'm missing anything. Some simple things that I could add to my collection, and obviously jumper cables are really handy to have. Even if you got a new vehicle, a lot of times you can have electrical issues with new vehicles and you still need a jump. And then a few other things I keep in my console at all times in my truck is obviously a good flashlight, kind of work light, trouble light. So it's got a light on the front, plus a couple different lights here. You can move it around, and it's got a magnet on the bottom. So if you do got to get underneath your truck and you need to see what you're doing, you can stick this on your frame. And it's also got a little hook here, so you can hang that on stuff. So one of these nice little cheap multi-purpose lights are great to keep on board, just in case of emergencies. And one of the other most important things is a on-the-fly plug repair kit. So if you ever do run a nail or a screw or pop your tire, and it's just a small hole and it's not really like a big rip in the sidewall or anything, these little plug kits are amazing. So all it is like a kind of a rough file. So you find the hole, obviously you pull out the implement if it's still stuck in there, and then you run this into the hole to kind of roughen up the edges and open the hole up a little bit if it's just a small leak. You got to plunge this into the tire, kind of bores out the hole a little bit, and then you switch to this little Tucker. Oh, I guess I've named you Tucker now. Actually, it says Victor on there. This is like a little fork, and you pull off one of these slimy, rubbery looking rope pieces, and you feed it in between the two forks there, and then you stuff that into the hole until there's just, about an inch of extra, because it kind of folds in half, right? And so you'll have these two little tabs sticking out either side of the hole. You plunge it in, and then once you know you've gone right through into the tire well, and then you still got the ends of the rope or whatever, this gooey rope sticking out, you pull this tool out really quickly and it unseats itself and the plug stays in the tire. And it's amazing like how well these things hold. They don't leak at all. So not what a tire repair shop would recommend. They recommend you obviously repairing the tire from the inside with a more, substantial thing. But for getting you out of a troublesome spot like out in the bush with a flat tire, these kits right here work great, and you can get them pretty much anywhere. And lastly, because I live in the Pacific Northwest or the southwest of Canada, and there's just insane amounts of drug abuse and homelessness, I always keep a Narcan kit in my truck because my cousin happens to be out on the streets suffering from addiction and probably mental illness. I haven't seen him in a year and a bit now. So yeah, I always keep this on board in case I do ever run into a situation where I could help potentially save somebody's life. You want to be able to do that, right? On a lighter note, I want to take a tour of the boat. Well, here she is, 22.5 feet, solid aluminum. We had this thing custom built overseas, and now she's all powered up. She handles the rough seas like a beast. So we got a Yamaha 250 and a little 9.9 backup kicker trolling motor. Sorry if the camera's shaking a bit here. So the bottom of the hull is 1/4 inch thick or 6 mil aluminum. The sides are all 4 mil. You can see we've got a sweet little live bait well with a cutting board here. And this has a little pump in it that'll, you turn the little pump on and you can fill that up with salt water. It sucks it right through the bottom. And then it's got a little drain as well as overflows. Little cutting board, rod holders, little knife slots, cup holders for the brewskis. And it's got a sweet little battery box in here. Keep all of our equipment, batteries, fuel filter, everything goes in there with a little battery kill switch here so you can turn the battery on and off so you never run your battery dead. It's got these little gunnel compartments here, stainless rod holders. Underneath here, this is a foam-filled pontoon. So the boat has these foam-filled pontoons that run along the whole length, as well as there's foam compartments in the floor here. And then we've got a couple of live bait lockers down here, fish lockers. Got a shock absorbing seat for the driver. Got a little life jacket compartment storage underneath there. And then we opted to have no bench over here so we could put the cooler in there for the big shaman that we're going to be slaying. These are nice little fold-up seats. Fold up, fold down, step, seat, whatever you want it to be. It's got this great, super grippy flooring. Faux teak flooring, they call it. And then this boat here has a nice little cuddy in the front. Put the kids in there when you're doing rough seas. You can also convert it into a bed. There's some fold down panels right here. And then there's a little compartment for the anchor capstan there. We got Raymarine electronics, the Axiom 9-inch. Great little touchscreen computer that has like LiDAR and it 3D maps the whole bottom of the ocean as you're driving. So we got the trim tabs, Yamaha digital controls, compass, and just lots of handholds throughout the boat. This thing's really made for some rough West Coast weather, but nice, perfect visibility throughout the cabin here. And you don't get any sweating on the aluminum because it's got this upholstered roof here. So no condensation on the inside, which is great. This is our little kicker control here, so when you're trolling, you don't have to be at the helm. You can just control the throttle for the little kicker motor. Then we got the walk around up here with the nice big rooftop space. I think I'm going to get some rack built for this, but nice handholds all along here. Really nicely glazed windows. Skylight down into the cuddy. And then we're up forward here, and there's tons of room up on this bow section, which is really nice. We custom designed it so that these rails have a gap here. And then I have a little ladder that I can drop into this bracket so you can do beach landing. Have a ladder to climb down onto the beach, which is really nice. Then this is the capstan anchor winch is in here. You can see the winch. And then the anchor is in this little channel. There's like a little channel underneath here that goes out the front, and you can see the anchor sticking out there. So it's great because you don't have any chain or anchor up here, so you can stand and walk on this, and it's all nice and grippy. And there's also these little flip switch anchor in and out switches, so you can use your foot to put the anchor in and out from the bow, and there's also a control at the helm. But all the aluminum for the cabin and everything is all 4 mil. So she is skookum. Tenant coming back on his little Enduro there. So yeah, she's all ready to go slay some salmon. I just got to catch something now with it. I haven't really tried yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So that's the tour, guys. Let me know what you think of the boat. And don't forget to tell me what you keep in your truck for emergency roadside situations. Oh, the motor's just a beast. All right, guys, that wraps up this video. I just realized I'm probably forgetting one really important thing to keep in my truck, and that would be a first aid kit. I've got one in the shop, got one in the boat, but I don't have one in the truck. So that's something I need to add to my list, and make sure you comment with other things that I should have in my truck as well. If you like this video, smash the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and there is a children's bookshelf video coming down the pipe next. Till then, Samurai out.